Tale of an Orphan, Part 7. Fatima left the estate with a heart full of joy. Her stomach was full, filled with good, delicious food. And more than that, her heart was full of something she had never fully felt before: happiness. She had never felt that happy in her almost 15 years of life. Even if she had been that happy, it would be when her mother was alive. What Balikis and Haja Zainab had told her still felt like a dream, something too big, something too good for her miserable life, something she had never imagined would happen in her life. She stepped out of the estate and adjusted the bucket on her head. Then she looked up at it as though she could see it, and her lips curved into a beautiful smile. For the first time in her life, she was happy carrying it. Today, she whispered to herself, "I will sell everything." Her smile widened, because this time is the last day I will ever hawk, the last day I will ever sell anything for Salamatu. There was excitement in her voice, and her heart was full of hope. She began walking, calling out as she sold her awara. From the estate down to her neighborhood, she moved with energy, selling faster than she ever had before. When she got close to the street that led to Kabir's house, she paused, then took another route, a route that is longer and secluded. She didn't want to pass in front of his house. She didn't want to see him or any of his friends again, especially the fair one like a semi-fried akara. The memory of that fierce face was still fresh in her mind, the way he had spoken to her, the fear he had planted in her heart. But a small part of her knew something, knew that it did save her from ruining her life. If not for that moment, she might have followed Rashida's path. She might have made a mistake because she was tempted. Alhamdulillah, she whispered, everything happens for a reason. With that thought, she continued walking, selling her awara one after the other. As she moved through the secluded streets, something caught her attention. It was a car, not just any car, a flashy, beautiful one, cleaner and finer than anyone she had seen before. She became curious and instinctively slowed down. Without talking to her legs carried her towards the car, and before she knew it, she was already standing near the car and could see everything in the car vividly. Inside the car was something that made her freeze. It was a man and a woman, and they were both very close. The man leaned over the woman, holding her in a way that made Fatima uncomfortable. Her eyes widened. She didn't fully understand what was happening, but she knew it was not something right. Something about it pulled her eyes, even when she wanted to look away. Then suddenly, she looked closer, and her heart skipped. She recognized the man. It was him, the white man, the same fierce young man who had warned her at that school the day before. Fatima's chest tightened. How? He had seemed straight and almost righteous, and here he was, doing something she could not even bring herself to fully understand, something she knew wasn't right. Is that his wife? She wondered, but doubt filled her mind because it didn't look like someone who is married. And even if he was, something about what she was saying felt wrong. Just as she tried to look away and mind her business, their eyes met, and her heart almost leaped out of her mouth. The young man froze for a second, then his face hardened. He frowned, displaying that same terrifying expression he showed the day before. Fear shot through Fatima instantly. Without thinking, she turned and hurried away. Her steps were quick, and her heart was pounding as though she was the one caught in that shameful act. She didn't look back. Deep inside, she felt disturbed. What she had seen didn't sit well with her, but she shook her head. It's none of my business, she muttered. She paused. She pushed the thought away completely. She had something more important now to focus on: her future, her new beginning. With a deep breath, she lifted her voice again. Awara, fresh awara. And this time she walked forward with happiness in her heart, leaving everything else behind. By late evening, Fatima had sold everything in her pocket. Her heart was light, her steps even lighter. Happiness filled her heart more than she had felt in a long time. She walked into the house with quiet excitement. Assalamu alaikum, she greeted. Her voice carried her joy so clearly that anyone could hear it. Salamatu, who was in the kitchen, paused. A faint smile formed at the corner of her lips as she turned to look at Fatima. Her eyes moved slowly from Fatima's face down to the empty bucket in her hand. That smile deepened knowingly, almost suspicious. Ah, Fatima, today's market must have been very good, she said, but beneath her words was another meaning, one Fatima did not understand. Only someone older, more experienced, would catch it. In Salamatu's heart, that had already taken root. She did not believe Fatima simply sold everything honestly. No, to her, something else must have happened, something improper. Whatever it is, she did not care. As long as the goods were sold, as long as the money was complete, she would continue to watch everything in delight. Is my 10,000 naira ready now? Salamatu asked. Fatima lowered her head slightly, her neck shrinking in unease. No, not yet. Soon, inshallah, she replied softly. You better listen and follow their orders to earn more money. Otherwise, how will you earn and pay my money? After today, you have just 2 days left, Salamatu reminded her. Inshallah, I will find it. Don't worry, Fatima said, ignoring the first part of her response. She placed the bucket down quietly and went to change her blouse. It was almost time for prayer. Without wasting time, she performed her ablution and waited for the prayer. After praying, she lay on the worn-out mat waiting for her father. She did not bother going to the kitchen. She already knew that there would be no food for her, and still she would be the one to wash the dishes. Perhaps today would be the last time, she thought inwardly. After what felt like forever, she heard her father's voice. She stood up immediately and welcomed him. He answered indifferently and went to their room. Assalamu alaikum, Baba, she said from the doorway. Who is there? Mala Ali replied without replying her tussling. It's me, Fatima. Yes, what is it? He asked. Baba, I want to see you. It's something very important. Come inside, Madam Aliyu said. Fatima entered the room. It was a small room, and he shared it with Salamatu and Idris, Salamatu's baby. She sat on the mat and looked at her father. Baba, I have gotten a job, she said directly. Madam Aliyu frowned slightly. A job? What do you mean? What kind of job? He asked. Before Fatima could answer or say anything, Salamatu appeared. She had been watching from afar. Something about Fatima's behavior had made her suspicious. Coming home with an empty bucket, speaking with unusual confidence, and meeting her father in privacy. To Salamatu, there was only one explanation. She believed Fatima had gotten involved with someone, a man who might soon come to claim her in marriage. And in Salamatu's mind, that would only mean the best. The earlier she gets married, the worse her life will be. Fatima looked at her, wondering why she suddenly appeared. Are you going to talk or what? Madam Aliyu said, snapping Fatima back to the present. What are you saying? Fatima glanced at Salamatu, then back at her father. She did not want Salamatu to be there, but after a brief thought, she realized it would make no difference. Whether she spoke now or later, Salamatu will still hear. In fact, she is the determinant factor. It was better to say everything at once. Baba, she began, gathering courage. I said I've gotten a job. What? Salamatu exclaimed from the side, her eyes widening. You have gotten a job? Fatima nodded firmly. Yes, I have. What kind of job? Madam Aliyu asked, his voice low but sharp. Fatima took a deep breath. I'm going to work as a maid in an estate, she said. One of the houses there need a housemaid. In return, they will sponsor my education. Silence followed her words. Then Salamatu let out a short mocking laugh. In her mind, this job was nothing but a trap. Something Rashida must have used to lure Fatima into a shameful life. And strangely, Salamatu felt satisfied. To her, Fatima was walking straight into a ruin. If he gets this job, Salamatu said coldly, what will happen to my business? Who will hawk for me? Mama, Fatima called softly, trying to stay calm. I won't be able to hug anymore. This work needs my time and attention. I'll be there every day, and from there, I'll be going to school. Salamato's face hardened. So, if you are not going to be useful to me, she said slowly, then I will stop everything I'm doing for your brother. Fatima froze. She did not see that coming. How do you expect me to keep feeding him, paying his school fees, when you are doing nothing that benefits me? Salamato continued. I'm not stopping you from taking any job, but if you are not doing anything for me, then don't expect me to do something for you. No food for you, and no food for your brother. And not just that, I will stop paying his school fees. She paused then added quickly, choose whichever is better for you. I will not force you. Every word was deliberate. Deep inside Salamoto, Deep inside, Salamoto did not believe Fatima's story. She was convinced this path would only destroy her, and that was exactly what she wanted to see. And that was exactly what she wanted, to see Fatima struggle, to watch her fall, to ensure she would never rise above her or her daughter. If this choice brought more hardship upon Fatima, then so be it. Madam Ali looked at Salamatu, then at Fatima. For a moment, he said nothing, but the fear or perhaps the love he had for Salamatu spoke louder than reason. You heard what your mother said, he finally said. If you are not going to support her business, then you will stop eating in this house. Not just you, even your brother. And she also stop sponsoring his education. He paused. You have to think carefully. Is this sacrifice worth it? Fatima felt something break inside her. Bitterness rose in her chest. What kind of father was this? Instead of correcting his wife, he supported her. Even now, when she was trying to change her life, he chose to stand against her. Her words were not supposed to break her, but she was still broken, even though before this job, despite all the hawking she did every day, they barely gave her food. And now, they wanted to use food as a weapon, the food that was never available. What was the difference? Fatima lowered her gaze, but fear crept into her heart when she thought of Farouk. If they stopped sponsoring Farouk, what would happen to him? What would she do? Her mind became restless. But Baba, she said softly, I will still be allowed to live in this house, right? Salamatu answered before her father could speak. Of course, she said with a thin smile. This is your father's house. Where else will you go? For now, she had no intention of sending Fatima away. She wanted to watch, to see how this choice will unfold, to witness with her own eyes how Fatima's life will either survive or fall apart. Fatima's eyes dropped, disappointment settled deep in her heart. Everything her father had just said made her question if he was truly a father. The way he treated her, the way he treated Farouk, she no longer understood it. After a few seconds of silent heartbreak, she lifted her head, looking defiant. Her eyes moved from her father to Salamatu. Her voice, when she spoke, was calm but firm. Since I will not be eating in this house, and neither will my brother, she said, then I see no reason why I will be doing house chores. She paused. If that is okay with you, then I agree with everything you have said. Her words turned both her father and Salamatu. Salamatu narrowed her eyes. What do you mean? She asked sharply. Are you saying you will not do anything in this house again? Fatima looked straight into her eyes, unflinching. How do you expect me to work in a house where nothing benefits me? She replied. But you are sleeping here, Salamatu snapped. You are still under this roof. Yes, Fatima said quietly, but only for now. I will come here just to sleep with my brother until the time we will be able to stand on our feet. She took a breath, her voice steady. You cannot expect me to sweep, cook, or wash dishes in a house where I am not even considered worthy of food. Silence fell again. If you are okay with that, she continued, then I am okay with your conditions too. I will not eat here. Farouk will not eat here either. Her words carry a few strengths. We will live like tenants in this house. Then she turned to her father. If that is what you want and how you want your wife to run your home, then I have said everything I needed to say. Without waiting for his response, Fatima stood up and walked away, leaving them both behind. Instead of going anywhere far, she stepped outside and spread her mat on the ground and lay down on it. She lay on her back. She stared up at the dark sky, her eyes searching the stars, counting them one by one, anything to distract herself from the storm in her heart. After a while, she heard soft footsteps. Farouk came and sat beside her. Ada, he called out, and Fatima's heart trembled. Fatima looked at Farouk, then slowly sat up. She shifted on the mat and tapped the space beside her. Sit, she said gently. Farouk sat down, but his shoulders were heavy, his chest tight with worry. Ada, he said softly. Fatima hummed, turning to look at him, but Farouk could not say a word. He was only looking at his sister tearfully. He was just 8, but he could already understood the happenings around them, which was why he always tried to behave in his best way. If he becomes nothing like his peers, he will only add to his sister's problem. Farouk, Fatima called softly. He looked at her but did not say a word. Who am I to you? Fatima asked. Farouk frowned slightly, but still answered, You are my sister. Do you think I would deliberately hurt you? Fatima asked. Farouk shook his head. No, you will never do that to me, he said. Do you believe in me? Fatima asked again, her voice quiet but serious. Farouk nodded immediately. Yes, I will always believe in you. Fatima swallowed and let out a soft sigh. Alhamdulillah, she mumbled and continued. I got a housemaid job at the estate. She began, Shagari's estate. A family needed someone, so they took me in. They promised to sponsor my education. She paused before continuing. But when I told Baba and Salamatu, they said if I take the job, they will stop feeding us and they will stop sponsoring your education. She turned to him. What do you think? Farouk was silent for a while. He lowered his head thinking. Then after a few seconds, he looked back at her. Ada, he said softly, even before this job, we hardly eat in this house. And when we do, it's never enough. He shrugged slightly. So I don't think it will make any difference if you take the job. Fatima's eyes softened. But what if you are hungry and I have nothing to give? She asked. Farouk tried to smile, even though it didn't reach his eyes. I will manage, just like how you have been doing, he said. Fatima felt a tightness in her chest. Listen to me, she said, holding his hand. Right now, it may be difficult, but trust me, with time, everything will get better. She took a deep breath. I won't promise you luxury, but I'll promise you comfort, inshallah. It may not be right away, but it will surely happen there, Allah. Tomorrow, I will go back to the house. I will accept the job fully, and I will ask if they can sponsor you instead of me, and if it is possible for them to pay me something in advance, so I can give Salamatu the 10,000 naira she keeps talking about. Farouk's face looked stunned before becoming confused. But how do you owe her 10,000? Fatima shook her head slightly. I don't even know. But since she insists, I will just find a way to pay her for peace to reign. Ada? Farouk called her softly. What is it? Fatima said. You can always tell me anything. Are you trying to forfeit your education for me again? Yes. I can't sit back and watch you have no education. I will do everything in my power to make you become something great in future, Fatima replied. Ada, Farouk called again. Fatima held his hand and squeezed it gently. Farouk, please trust me. Even not having education will not stop things from changing positively. I will do everything possible to change our situation. All we need to do is to work hard and persevere. Her voice became firmer, and from now on, don't expect anything from anyone in this house. They don't care, not even our father. She looked straight into his eye. You are the only one I have in this whole world, and I'm the only one you have. Her voice softened again. So we must trust each other, and we must stand by each other's side. Farouk nodded slowly. Don't worry, Fatima continued. As long as I am alive, I will do everything I can to make sure you go to school, even if it means to do a liberal work. She managed a small smile. I will do everything for you, Farouk. She studied his face to check if he was in pain. You fell earlier today. Are you okay now? Farouk shook his head slightly. It wasn't something to worry about, he replied. Fatima pulled him closer and wrapped her arms around him. He hugged her lightly. They stayed like that under the quiet night sky. Inshallah, Fatima whispered, everything will be better. And this time, she truly hoped it would. The next morning, Fatima woke up very early. After her prayer, she prepared herself and then gently woke Farouk. She made sure he bathed and got ready. Today was important. He had an exam to finish, and she also had to meet her new employer for a change in plan. By 7:30 a.m., they both stepped out of the house, hand in hand. As they walked toward the school, Fatima stopped by a small food store. Mama Ijoma, good morning, she greeted. Fatima, how are you? Mama Ijoma replied warmly. I didn't see you yesterday. What happened? Fatima smiled faintly. I wanted to save my money for this morning. She hesitated, then added, Mama Ijoma, do you have a takeaway pack that you are not using? I want to buy food 300 naira worth, and I will want it in the takeaway. Yes, I have, Mama Ijoma said kindly, and quickly packed the food and handed it over along with 200 naira change. Now you are left with 1,000 naira. Yes, Mama Ijoma, Fatima said. Thank you. She collected the food and turned to Farouk, who was watching her every move. This is your breakfast, she said gently, handing him the takeaway. I used the 200 naira to buy something for lunch. Manage it till I come back, okay? Farouk nodded. Fatima bent slightly to his level, her voice becoming more serious. While I am away, don't look for trouble. I don't let anyone trouble you. She paused. If possible, don't go home after school. Stay in Mama's Khalid's compound and play with Khalid. No one will bully you there. Fatima looked confused. Why? Fatima forced a small smile and placed her hand on his head. Salamatu and her children may want to find trouble with you. To avoid the trouble, you stay away from them. All right, Ada, I will listen to you, he said. She held his hand one last time and walked him toward their school. This phase of our life will also pass very soon. Just bear with it a little longer. Don't worry too much about me, Ada. Just keep doing your things. I promise to endure and persevere, Farouk promised. That's my darling brother, Fatima said smilingly. Now hurry up and enter your school, she said and watched him disappear into the classroom. Except her, every other child in their house attended the same school she also wished to attend. Fatima turned and slowly walked toward the direction of the estate. With every step, her heart beat faster. She began to pray silently. Ya Allah, we have no one but you. Please let them accept to sponsor Farouk instead of me. Let them say yes to my idea. This is the only way Farouk and I can survive. Her lips moved softly as she walked. Please guide me. Please don't let this fail. After a few minutes, she reached the estate gate. The security guards recognized her and allowed her in without any question. Fatima stepped inside. Her legs felt heavy, but she kept walking. Her heart was filled with both fear and hope. The fear of them rejecting her idea and the fear of them changing their mind toward her job because of her ridiculous idea. And she hoped they wouldn't mind about whatever she would say, but they wouldn't instead support her, no matter how ridiculous it sounds. When she finally reached the house, the gate was opened for her. She adjusted her veil, took a deep breath, and walked forward slowly. This moment could change everything. Just as Fatima was about to enter the house, she met Balikis, who was stepping out. She was wearing the same green and white uniform with NYSC boldly written on it. Fatima quickly stepped aside to give her space. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, Auntie Balikis, she greeted politely. Wa alaikum assalam, Balikis replied with a warm smile. How are you this beautiful morning? She asked as she looked closely at Fatima's face. Her smile faded slightly. Her eyes scanned her from head to toe. What happened? She asked gently. Why do you look troubled? Fatima hesitated for a second. She did not want to pretend, and at the same time, she did not want to appear too vulnerable. Don't worry, you can tell me anything, Balikis assured her. Auntie Balikis, I don't know if you can help me, she said softly. Maliki's expression changed immediately. Help you? With what? What happened? Fatima took a deep breath. When I got home yesterday, I told my stepmother about the job and how you said you will sponsor my education. She began, her voice trembled slightly, but she continued. She said if I come here to work and stop working for her, she will stop feeding us and she will stop sponsoring my brother's education. Malikis frowned. She said that? Fatima swallowed. Yes, she said and continued. So I was thinking, she continued slowly, choosing her words carefully, if it would be possible to sponsor my brother's education instead of mine. Maliki's eyes widened slightly. I will work here, Fatima added quickly. I will serve, I will do everything, I don't mind, even if it is forever. She paused then added, almost in a whisper, I just want my brother to go to school. There was a brief silence. Then Fatima spoke again, more urgently, and I also want to ask if it is possible to pay me in advance. Balikis looked even more concerned. I owe 10,000 naira, Fatima continued. I have to pay it between today and tomorrow. If I don't, it will bring more trouble for me and my brother. Balikis frowned deeply. How did this happen? She asked. How did you owe someone? Fatima looked down, then back at her. Without hiding anything, she explained everything that happened. Her stepmother, the hawking, the threat, the hunger, everything. As she spoke, Balikis' expression grew heavier. When Fatima finished, Balikis remained silent for a moment. Then she stepped closer and placed a gentle hand on Fatima's shoulder. Don't worry, she said softly. Inshallah, your struggle has come to an end. You are not going to sponsor my brother, Fatima asked anxiously. Not just your brother. We will also sponsor you, Fatima said, Baliki said assuringly. Meanwhile, we will go inside and you explain everything to my mother, the exact way you told me. All right, ma, Fatima replied, and they both walked inside the house. 3 months later, Fatima and her brother had been enrolled in one of the best private schools in the state by the family she worked for. Even though she now attended school, she still worked in the house, but her duties were light. She mostly kept her Zainab's company, ran small errands, and helped with simple tasks. The world did not disturb her education in any way. It instead turned her appearance in a way that people who knew her 3 months before could hardly recognize her 3 months after. She had gradually grown into a young, beautiful teenager who had developed in all appropriate places. Those 3 months were the best months of her life. For the first time, she felt peace, and she lived her life the way she wanted. At first, Salamatu wanted to deny her from going to school, especially when she saw and learned about the school they were being enrolled. But before she could cause a ruckus, Yaya Anwar, the eldest son of Alhaji Muhammad Bono, and Hajia Zainab, who was a military man, came to visit them in his military uniform. His appearance alone scared Mana Aliyu, and it also put Salamatu in order. I saw your 2 children, and I decided to enroll them into school. Hope there is no problem with that. Those were his words on that day. And Malam Aliyu, who was already scared to the bone, agreed, and he immediately promised to allow the children to attend the school. Even though Salamatu wasn't satisfied, she couldn't say a word, not when Anwar was emanating a powerful aura that kept sending fear down her spine. Since then, Fatima and her brother started attending the school without anyone giving them problem. One weekend, after returning from the estate, Fatima was in the compound washing her clothes and Farouk clothes when Halima suddenly walked in. Fatima noticed her, but she said nothing. Halima already spoke to her anyway. She simply looked away and continued washing, pretending not to notice. Halima's face was tight with anger as she stormed into the room. Umma, Halima called out. What is it, my dear? Salamatu asked. Why are you looking so angry? Umma, I don't understand what is happening in this house again. Oh. Halima burst out. Right before our eyes, Fatima is now going to school. Not just any school, one of the best schools in the city. Her voice rose as she continued, and you are just watching it happen. why I attended government school. How do you expect me to be better than her like this? Salamatu listened quietly. Halima continued, her frustration spilling over. She's already acting and feeling important. And that school, do you know the kind of connection she will make there? What if one of those rich families decides to marry her? She paused, breathing heavily. What kind of life will I have then? Salamatu smirked slightly. Calm down, she said. Why are you rushing ahead of your destiny? She leaned closer, lowering her voice. Fatima will only become better than you if I am no longer alive. Halima blinked. Do you think life is like a movie? Salamatu continued coldly. Where a poor girl marries into a rich family. That only happens in fairy tales. Her voice hardened. A maid marrying her employer or their children. It can never happen. Even in movies, it rarely happens. She folded her arms and continued. I am watching her carefully. Everything she's doing, everything she's enjoying now is temporary. She will soon go to where she truly belongs. Her lips curved slightly and a wicked smile appeared on her face. And when the time comes, we will bring her down. Outside, Fatima continued washing, unaware of everything being said by the mother and daughter. Just then, Rashida walked into the compound. Fatima, she called. Fatima looked up, but did not answer. Unlike before, she had become quieter and more reserved since starting school. Rashida moved closer and crouched beside her. Do you remember Aminu? She asked. Fatima frowned slightly. Who is that? The man I told you about 3 months ago. The one who saw you the first day at the school and liked you immediately. Rashida said. His name is Aminu. Fatima continued scrubbing, looking uninterested. To be honest, Rashida went on, he has not forgotten you. He's still crazy about you, and he became more crazier when he saw you earlier. Fatima paused slightly, but said nothing. He saw you today, Rashida added, and looked at you. In just 3 months, you've changed, you've grown, you look beautiful, different from Fatima of 3 months ago. Fatima slowly withdrew her hand from the water and looked at her. What nonsense are you saying, for goodness sake? She asked calmly. Rashida scoffed. Stop pretending. Everyone knows that someone is bankrolling you. The life you are living now is nothing compared to what Aminu can give you. Just give him a chance. She leaned closer. All you need to do is say yes, and your problem will disappear. Fatima's face hardened. Are you mad? She said sharply. What problem did I tell you that I have? Rashida caught him quickly, ignoring everything that she was saying. If you're afraid of that man from before, don't worry. He's no longer around. He has gone back to his country. Fatima shook her head. Which man did I tell you that I'm afraid of? She asked, but did not wait for her response. For your information, I am not afraid of anyone, she said firmly. But the life you are trying to push me into is not the type of life I wanted. I will never leave it. Her voice became stronger and firm. I told you before, and I will say it again. Leave me alone. She pointed slightly. Which part of those simple words is difficult for you to understand? If you want Amino or whatever his name is, go to him. Go and have him for yourself. Stop dragging me into your nonsense. Rashida clicked her tongue. If you wanted me, do you think I will come to you? She said bitterly. I tried, but all his attention is on you. Fatima felt disgust rise within her. Please, Rashida, she said quietly, turning away. Leave me alone. She picked up her clothes and began to raise them, ignoring her completely. Meanwhile, in the room, Salamatu and Halima overheard everything that transpired between Rashida and Fatima. Salamatu turned to Halima with a cold expression. You see, she said, I told you. Her voice dropped with contempt. She's pretending to be innocent, but she is not. She shook her head. She is nothing but a wayward girl hiding behind a school uniform. This will be the end of today's episode. Let's meet again for another interesting one. I remain your humble host, Omo Ahmad. Until next time, wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.